So we have been discussing that Cisco IOS has different modes of operation: user mode, privilege mode, and configuration mode. And sometimes we want to secure the user mode as well as privilege mode of the Cisco router or a switch. And we discussed in detail in our previous video. And we discussed that CLI, or command line interface of a Cisco router or switch, can be accessed via the console port when the user is close by and she gets connected physically with the help of a cable. And in other method, that the same command line interface can also be accessed remotely via Telnet or secure shell. So in previous video, what we discussed is that we enable or we set a password to enter in the user mode, and then we also set a password to move from this user mode to the privilege mode. So this is what we discussed in our previous video. Now that actually is called a shared password because that password can be shared by multiple users or multiple persons who wants to access the switch or router remotely when they are not physically there where the Cisco router or switch is located. So that is known as shared password because password can be shared among multiple users. Now what we want to give authority, or we want to authorize the users of the switch on a per user basis. It means whosoever is going to use the router or switch, every individual should have their own username and password when they are going to access the IOS of the switch or router. So we are going to discuss the local username and password to secure user mode access of Cisco IOS. So for example, what we want that whenever a user remotely accesses the network, he should be prompted for the username. So you can see here it's asking for the username as well, but in this case you can see there's no such thing here, only the password, and once the user provides the password, he can access the IOS. But here, first you have to provide the username, and in the next step you have been asked. So once you have given the username, you are prompted to give the password as well. So once you will give the password, then you will be able to access the IOS of the router or switch. So how to do that, we are going to do in this packet tracer as well. But how to do that? First, we will create a local list of usernames and their password. So this is the command which we will use in the global configuration mode. You can see here in the global configuration mode, we create username. So this is the username, whatever name you can select, this up to you. And the password is the command, and then any password you like. So this is one user and its associated password. In the same way, you can use the same command to create a second user and the third user and his or her passwords. And this way you create a local list of usernames. So once you have created these names, you need to go, if you want to set this password on the console port, or you want to set this for the SSH or the Telnet connection. And in other words, if you want to set this password for the virtual terminal of the switch or router. Something about virtual terminals. So VTY lines refers to the virtual terminal lines of the router or switch, and they are actually implemented in software, and they don't have any hardware associated with it. So this is the reason that we call them virtual lines or virtual terminals. So we're good. So let's do the same steps in Cisco Packet Tracer. So here we are in the Cisco Packet Tracer, and for this experiment, we need a switch. So just click on the network devices and then switch. Select any switch from here, put it in the workspace, and if you want to check it for the console port, we can select a PC and then connect it to the console port. So this is up to you. But at the moment, just to show you, just click on this switch, go to command line interface, and then press enter. So we are there in the user mode, and then enable. We are in privilege mode. From there, we need to go to the global configuration mode. We are here because here we will be creating username and password. So username, for instance, newbie, and the password may be the same, newbie. Okay. So we have created a username and password. Now we want to apply this username and password to the console port, for instance. Then we need to go to the console port, and for that we have a command line console 0. So we are in the console interface as a port, and here just we have to say login local. It means whatever username and password we define in the global configuration mode, now those have been applied to there. So this will so whenever a user logs in or whenever a user tries to access the iOS, it will check the local database of the username and password. It has been applied. Control Z and exit. And now let's see, can we access this? Enter. Yes. So you can see when we want to access the user mode of the switch, it is asking for the username. And in previous video we discussed that it will only ask for the password, but for today it's asking for the username. So once we give the username, it will ask for the password. So again, the password. And now after giving username as well as the password, the switch has allowed us in the user mode of the switch. So this is how we can apply this to the console port of the switch. If you want to do same thing for the Telnet, then what we need to do, so we already have created a username and password, just we need to go to the virtual terminals of the switch. So what we do, enable, then we are in the privilege mode. From here, go to the global configuration mode, and from this global configuration mode, we need to go to the virtual terminal interface. Our line VTY 0 to 15, all 16 virtual lines of this switch, and then here login local. So the same username and password have been applied when the user will try to access the iOS of the switch using Telnet connection. It means if the user is accessing the switch remotely, so the switch will prompt them when they want to access the user mode of the switch. Okay. So if you want to check whether this switch works for the Telnet connection, then we need a PC. So just to show you, so this is the PC from EndNote. Select this and put it in the workspace. Make a connection, and these are different devices. When we need a straight-through cable, select a straight-through cable. So you can see the names here. So straight-through cable, this fast Ethernet. Again, click here, and we have made a connection between a switch and a PC. Now we want to verify whether we are able to access that switch from this PC. And to access that switch from that PC, we need to assign IP address to the switch as well as to the PC. And to assign IP address to the switch, we have the VLAN connections. So VLANs are virtual local area network. So we can create VLANs where we can assign some of the ports to different VLANs. So we will discuss in some other video, but at the moment we have one VLAN, VLAN 1, that is by default in the switch. So we need to go to that VLAN interface of the switch. So click here, CLI, and from here we can go to line. So you can just understanding purpose. From the global configuration mode, you can see here, from here we want to go to interface VLAN 1. So we are in the VLAN interface, And here we want to assign an IP address to the switch. So IP address 192.168.10.1 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0. So this is the subnet mask for that IP address. And I hope you know that this is a class C IP address anyway. So we assign the IP address and then no shut to change its status to up so that it should work. So no shut down. And now this VLAN interface is working on this switch. So you can say Control Z and okay. And we also need an IP address for this switch. So click on that for this PC, and then desktop in IP configuration, give IP address in the same domain 192.168.10.2, and just click here. This is subnet mask for that. It means we have assigned an IP address to this PC and to this switch as well. So first let's try to check the connectivity between them, and for that I hope you remember that we use the ping command. So ping 192.168.10.1. so this is the IP address of the switch. We are using ping command from this PC to the switch. So let's see if it's working. So the PC is checking the connectivity of the switch. Yes, we got it. So after some time, we got the reply from the switch. It means switch and the PC are connected. Now from this PC, we want to establish a Telnet connection to the switch. So what to do for that? We just write Telnet here and give the IP address of the switch. So this was the IP address switch, and write Telnet and press enter. Great. So you can see we are trying to access the IOs of a switch from this PC, and the switch is asking for the user access verification, and it's asking for the username. So if you remember, newbie was our username, and click, and it's asking for the password. So same was the password, newbie again. So this is password, and now you can see on the prompt that we are in the switch IOs. So we are using the command line interface of the switch, and you can see you can go to enable, and then you can, for enable we didn't set the password there, so we are just in the user mode. And for the enable, we need to set a password here. For instance, we need to go to the switch and then config T, global configuration mode, and here if you remember, then we just need enable secret, so that will be maybe again same. So this is the password we are setting for to access the privilege mode of the switch. So if you don't set the password for the privilege mode, then even by Telnet connection we will not be able to access the privilege mode of the switch. So we set that, Control Z and there. And let's try again from this switch. So what we have to do again here, let's say enable, and yes, you can see it's asking for the password, so newbie, and now you can see we are able to access the privilege mode of the switch as well. So you can see how this is how we can set a user password, a username and password to access a command line interface using the Telnet connection. So when we are remotely accessing our switch using Telnet connection, then we have set a username and password at the switch. So whenever we will try to access the command line interface of the switch, we will be prompted to for the username and password. Once we provide it, the switch will give us access to the switch. So this will be only user mode of the switch. And if you want to access the privilege mode of the switch using Telnet, then you also need to set a password on the privilege mode of the switch as well, which we did now. So this is how we can make the access to our switch comparatively more secure using this username and password. So that's it for today. But still, we have a question because the connection between this PC, the connection between this PC and the switch is not secure because whatever contents are traveling in between them, they are in the plain text. So we need to hide them, and for that we will be using secure shell, and we will discuss that in our next video. So thank you.